Hi everyone, Petrik here. Today's video will be SFF Spotlight, episode 112. Just like always, this is a series of videos where I talk about new book news, new cover reveal, new special edition, and also new Kickstarter campaign in the adult science fiction and fantasy genre. And today we have about, I think, 14 or 15 topics to cover. And the first one, I just want to spotlight this first before I start talking about the new books and also the new cover reveals. This is about the announcement from Sanderson. He has finally completed, well, this is actually done pretty quick, the first draft of the screenplay for the Mistborn TV adaptation being published by Apple TV. And this is so surreal. Apparently this was done on the 20th anniversary of Mistborn, the first book, Mistborn The Final Empire. And I'm just quite mind blown about that. And after hearing about that, apparently it has been almost 10 years since I read Mistborn for the first time. It has been almost 10 years since I reviewed books. I feel old, not gonna lie. But at the same time, I'm cautiously optimistic about this TV show adaptation because Mistborn is very special for me. And when it comes to fantasy adaptation lately, I've been quite skeptical about the quality. But for this one, because this is being produced and published by Apple TV, I have more hopes because all the science fiction show that I have watched from them, they all end up becoming something that I thoroughly enjoyed. For example, For All Mankind, and yeah, I love For All Mankind. I think that's such an amazing show. And yeah, there are more, of course. But yeah, as I said, I'm excited about this, but I'm trying to maintain my expectation. But Sanderson himself has mentioned that it will still be quite a while, or maybe a long time, before we can actually see the first episode. There's still a lot of hurdles to go through. And yeah, that's pretty much for the TV show adaptation stuff. Now let's talk about books and also cover reveals. The first one is about A Breeze Felt at Moonrise. This is from the author of The Doll Makers, one of my favorite debuts. This is written by Lynn Buchanan. The cover art is done by Arian Makwo, and this book will be out in March 2027. And yeah, I did the cover reveal for this one really recently, and I just heard from Lynn Buchanan, she posted about this, that apparently the book will have 14 interior artworks. That's insane, amazing. And yeah, I cannot wait to read this one. I really enjoyed The Doll Makers. I think it's such a compelling debut stories, even though it features such an unlikable protagonist for the first half of the novel. But it is countered with the protagonist that is incredibly likable and empathetic as well in The Doll Makers. And I hope we can get something like that again in The Breeze Felt at Moonrise. Or maybe, I don't know, just more, because this book actually takes place in the same world as The Doll Maker. So yeah, I'm excited to be getting more content from Lynn Buchanan on this world and this universe. Hopefully we'll get more. And then after that, something that will come out in the year 2027 as well. This is for The Guerilla Republic by Richard Swan. This one will come out on August 2027. So The Infinite State, the first book in the trilogy, just came out, and it has received nothing but praises, including the special edition that I worked on together with Richard Swan on the Broken Binding edition. And yeah, I think this one turns out amazing. This and also The Heart of the Naga, they are two of my favorite design on the SFF subs on the Broken Binding. But enough about that. If you have read it, let me know what you think about it. And what do you think about this cover art? This is, of course, the same style and also the same composition compared to the first cover art, the US edition of The Infinite State. Moving on to the next one, we have the 9th installment in the Green Rider series by Kristen. And this is the US cover art being illustrated, of course, by the legendary Donato Giancola. So this is for The Last Sea King. Donato is just, I think he's a maestro. So I have no doubt that pretty much more than 90% of everything that he has ever produced will be an absolute stunner, and this one is not an exception. I haven't read anything in the Green Rider series though. I know that it is supposed to be one of those classics as well, so if you have read this, let me know what you think about this one as well. But moving on to the next one. This is for an incredibly long series, so this is for the ebook number 20 in the Wandering Inn series by Pirateaba. So I don't know which volume this is in the actual story arc version, probably the 7th volume. But if you don't know about the Wandering Inn, it is arguably one of the longest fantasy series of all time, or lit RPG. If we're not actually putting a Chinese web novel into the equation, it is most likely the longest web fantasy, the web novel or the longest fantasy series of all time we have to date. I think it's more than 12 million or 15 million words long at the moment. So this volume, Memories Flame, even though it is volume number 20, it still has a lot to actually catch up on the number of contents that has been produced. But Wandering In will be traditionally published by Harper Voyager, I believe this month. Yeah, for the first time it will be getting a physical volume. So if this keeps on going, I have no idea how many volumes the Wandering In will have. I think it will reach 200. Yeah, that's actually not an exaggeration. It just might reach 200 volumes if we keep going. Because just the first volume alone is already divided into 2 volumes. And that's like the shortest one. One of the shortest one of the entire story arc so far in the Wandering In. And yeah, that's just insane. Sounds insane to me. I'm still looking forward to reading this though. Now, I'm not aiming to catch up to the entire series. I just want to know what it's about. And I don't know, maybe I will get hooked on a few volumes and more. We'll see. I think this kind of length is the kind of series that you have to dive into completely without reading any other series. And yeah, that's just my take anyway. For the next 3 titles, we have all indie fantasy stuff. The first one is for The Lament of Soulwaker by Sharon Elwood. This is the second book in the Soulwaker trilogy. The cover art is being done by the Polar Engine. I think it looks nice. I haven't read the first book yet though. Plus, it seems like the World of Warcraft is actually a huge inspiration to the Soulwaker trilogy. So yeah, looking forward to reading this one. And next, we have The Blight Warden by Rob J. Hayes. This is the 5th title in the Titan Harper series. This was originally pitched as Naruto in space, progression sci-fi Naruto in space. And yeah, Rob J. Hayes, I've been behind on his books. He keeps pouring out books. So I think 1 or 2 books a year, and it's getting harder for me to catch up considering how busy I am in my life right now. But the cover art for this book is done by Emanuela Crovius. So I think there's only 1 more book left in the Titan Harper series, and then the series will be completed. But speaking of completed series, this is the cover art to the final book in the Bonds of Kin series by L.R. Schulz, so Liam Schulz. This is for the Shadow Queen. This cover art, when I saw it for the first time when the author showed it to me, well, it instantly reminded me of the Spirit Bomb or the Spirit Bomb from the Dragon Ball, yeah, by Son Goku. I hope many of you know what Dragon Ball is, because if not, I'm going to feel even older, okay? But the Dragon Ball is one of my favorite series of all time. It is a huge part of my life growing up. And seeing this kind of inspiration appearing on the cover art of an epic fantasy novel, it just brings a smile to my eyes. Plus, the purple color really pops in this cover. The cover is again done by the same artist who did the previous cover arts of the first 2 books, Brush 7, who's also a huge fan of the Soulsborne franchise, just like me. And yeah, that's pretty much for the cover review section. Now let's talk about special editions. First, we have the Broken Binding stuff. First one, we have The Splintered Sun by Ted Williams. So yeah, this is the newest spin-off title in the Austen art saga. It is almost unrelated to anything that has happened in the Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn trilogy, and also The Last King of Austen art. I believe the tale and the narrative and the story that you're going to read in The Splintered Sun, I believe it was mentioned once or twice in The Last King of Austen art, but that's pretty much all I know. I cannot actually remember about it. So this is basically kind of like the folklore story that happens in the world of Austen art, like the Robin Hood of the world of Austen art. I have got a chance to read this one, and I got a chance to work on the special edition as well, together with the same cover artist of the Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn trilogy, Jeff Brown. So yeah, this is, I will not go into too much detail, but this is the moment. This scene pretty much depicts the first time the characters arrive in Hayhold of that time, because this is the story actually takes place before the events of Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn trilogy, but after Brothers of the Wind. And I think we went with a brighter color scheme for this cover art, because we want to make it clear that this is actually a spin-off title, and it features a bit of a different composition compared to the Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn trilogy, but the edges is the same. the typography design is the same style as well. So the edges, that's actually the Splintered Sun itself. If you have read the book, you will know what it is about. But yeah, if you are a fan of Ted Williams and also the Ocean Art Saga, I do highly recommend you to pick this one up as well. It's not as amazing as Memory, Sorrow, and Dawn Trilogy, but you know you will have a great time when it comes to reading Ted Williams' story. You know the drill with his prose by now. But moving on to the next one, this is about the Riyria Revelations by Michael J. Sullivan. And yeah, this is for the next fantasy subscription for the month of October and then the month of December. So for this one, the two of us, the two art directors, me and also Eon, worked together with Martin Motet on all the illustrations for this edition. The edges are done by the artist. Martin Motet did the edges himself, and it is something that will mean more to those who have read the books rather than not. But yeah, all the illustrations here, I decided to choose only Martin Motet to try to form a more cohesive design with only one artist working on all the artwork. And I think they turned out really well. The black and white artwork is just incredible. The use of negative space, I think, really works here. But my favorite cover art of the three, it will have to be The Rise of Empire. I think this cover art is amazing, mind-blowing even. And I know the Sullivans really loved the artwork on this edition as well. And I'm happy because that's all we wanted to do with the Riyria Revelations. Up to today, the series somehow just doesn't have a lot of illustrations. And I think it's cool that we can provide that for the Riyria Revelations, because I do think that this series means a lot to a lot of people, myself included, and Royce and Hadrian is just one of the best bromance in epic fantasy now, in high fantasy now. And after that, I have actually spotlighted this a few months ago, but because now the full details have been revealed, I think it's time to spotlight this one more time on the channel. So this is about the Shattered Sea trilogy by Joe Abercrombie. The cover art is done by Mikhail Burgoyne, and then it features edges by Peng Lu and also end paper art by Man-Sik Young, plus foil and typography by Rachel St. Clair. So in addition to these illustrations, well, we have acid-free paper and soon binding as well. Plus, free shipping for subscribers to the Broken Binding, and I think that's probably the biggest news of them all. This is still a trial, and hopefully Broken Binding can keep this up if everything goes well. And yeah, I think this edition turns out really nice, and I hope many of you will be happy with this edition as well. From the Broken Binding, it's just a big announcement, and I've been working on this one for quite a while now. This is for the Dresden Files by Jim Butcher. And yeah, there will be more details coming about this, I think, at the end of the month. And I guess we can now own a hardcover special edition at a more accessible price for the entire Dresden Files series. Before this, there were also the Subterranean Press edition, and also currently still ongoing the Grim Oak Press edition. You can choose which edition you want to collect for your collection. And yeah, there will be more details about this one. Now, next one, this is again just an announcement, but this is from Illumicrate. And this is a big one because Illumicrate announced they will be doing a special edition of the Fires of December in December. And wow, what an acquisition. I think that's amazing, especially because the Fires of December will be the main title featured by Brandon Sanderson and his team in this year's Dragonsteel Nexus. And I cannot wait to see what Illumicrate will be doing for their edition. But that's pretty much it on the coverage for special editions. And before I end this video, I want to spotlight two Kickstarter campaigns. The first one, this is about an upcoming Kickstarter to a sequel to a Dragon Rider fantasy novel. This one is a sequel to The Children of the Gods by S.A. Klopfenstein. So this is for Children of Ash and Stone. And yeah, this Kickstarter campaign will be happening on October. So it's still about 2 months from now before this Kickstarter campaign goes live. And the cover art once again is done by Joe Requeza, and the design is done by Rachel St. Clair. I heard many great things about the first book, and I think Dragon Rider fantasy ever since The Bound and the Broken, and also the Echo Saga by Philip C. Quantrill, and Dragon Mage by M.L. Spencer. There has been a huge surge, especially in indie fantasy publication and market, and I'm happy for it. It's like a return to the classic, but with a modern narrative. And finally, the last Kickstarter campaign I want to spotlight in today's video, this is actually a big one from Raidmark. They have been teasing about this for, I think, more than a year now. And the title of this Kickstarter campaign is 101 Artists. So this book, this art book will feature artwork from 101 artists. And all the artists featured so far, they are some of the best that I have seen working in the industry. And I cannot wait to see how this one will turn out in person. I definitely will have to own this one. So apparently every page in this art book, they will have this QR code or link to the artist page. And I think that's such a nice way to actually feature more artists in a physical format, which I think we need to do more and more often. It is one of the main reasons why I always put the name of the artist when I'm talking about cover reveals, and the artwork that I put in my YouTube channel. I think they deserve recognition. And yeah, this Kickstarter campaign, of course, is live now, and it has been fully funded, and I hope many of you will take a look at this as well. So well done to Redmark and also all the artists involved in this production. And yeah, that's pretty much it for today's episode of SFF Spotlight. I want to say thank you so much to all of you who keeps on tuning to my YouTube channel. I know my publication and my production has been really slow. It's like one video every 1 or 2 weeks, and I can only apologize for that, but I'm doing my best, and I hope I can return to my standard content of putting more list recommendations more frequently soon. That's my hope anyway. So again, thank you so much for your patience, and as always, do let me know what you think about all the news that I spotlighted in the comment section down below. And yeah, that's pretty much it for me today. As always, thank you so much for watching, and thank you for your support. Bye bye. Lastly, I want to say thank you so much once again to all my patrons who keep on supporting me.